Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Talking Point. My name is Faraz Patel. I would like to thank you, the viewer, for staying with us on Hilaal TV, DSTV channel 347. Now, at the start of December, there was history made within the ANC regional conference that happened in Johannesburg. Loyiso Masuku had defeated Dada Morero by 184 votes to 149, creating that history. That means Masuku is now the front contender for the African National Congress to contest next year's local government elections for the Johannesburg Metro. Now, it is a metro that is riddled with challenges in terms of service delivery, infrastructure, but it's also been a metro that for the last two elections that had occurred, it has been a coalition government. If we were to take the words of Mahlengi Bengu Mutiri, the ANC national spokesperson, they are confident that the ANC can win an outright majority within that metro. Joining me today, I'd like to welcome Masuku herself to have this discussion going forward. Loyiso, absolute pleasure having you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, and a very good afternoon to you and the viewers at home.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Look, Loyiso, I must say, it is very refreshing to have a female contender, a female winner within the ANC regional perspective, especially within Johannesburg. And I guess it's an important thing, isn't that, given that what we have seen over the years is that there's been more male counterparts that have had this position. How do you view that now as really taking this mantle forward in terms of the earning of what you have achieved?
It's profoundly humbling, extremely energizing as well, because you get a sense that even society appreciates the fact that women are making it. And for me, the success of the conference and me being the one who ultimately became successful, it's actually just to also say to the girl child, it's possible. It's to say to that woman in those boardrooms in the private sector, where you find that there's just patriarchy, sexism, you can stand up and represent that particular area of work, irregardless of where you are. It may not be necessarily politics, but I think the shift is important for gender politics. It's important for the emancipation of women in totality, and for society to recognize that women are actually equal to the task, and women must be given responsibility to lead in their respective areas of work.
Loyiso, there was a question that was posed to Nokuthula Gqaba, the ANC Women's League secretary. There were claims that there was purported vote buying that happened during the regional conference. As she said that they are not accurate, the claims are historic, and there was no way this was actually a case of it happening. I just wanted to get your take on these allegations that were made, or supposed reports that were out there of this vote buying talks that had occurred.
I agree completely with the Secretary General of the ANC Women's League. The point that she makes is that sometimes when something is a surprise or a shock, there would be certain connotations that are made. It doesn't make them true. But I mean, at any given point, if there are such allegations, I think the ANC is on the path of renewal. We are clear on the path of renewal. And if such exists, it must be investigated, and the competent structure, whether it's the PEC, the PTT in our instance, or the NEC, looks into that. But I think that the Secretary General's point was also to say, let's just celebrate women. Let's congratulate women. Let's appreciate that there was a conference, and there is no report that says there's anything that was untoward about the conference. And I'm happy that she clarified that.
And you wouldn't be concerned about any potential factions happening within the Johannesburg region of the ANC with this coming out, because this could only stem from, obviously, those potential factions that would come out from the ANC.
I said it in my closing remarks that the conference was about preferences. And when there's a conference, there will be people who prefer X candidate over Y candidate. But now that the conference has come to an end and the leadership has been elected of the 16th Regional Conference, our responsibility is to unite the organization. Our responsibility is to work with everybody, irregardless of the preference that they had when we were going to conference. It's a democratic process, and we are allowed to, at the time, lobby, but now there's a leadership that has been elected. And we will work with everybody. We will bring everybody and strengthen our structures, work with everybody, and make sure that we take the ANC forward in a united and a cohesive manner to ensure that we focus and work and mount a strong process in the organization towards the local government.
So as we speak right now, you and Dada Morero, there is still this possibility of both of you working for the greater good of the party.
We are working for the greater good of the party, absolutely. We were at the NGC together. We attended commissions together. I'm a deployee of the ANC like he is. I have the pleasure to serve in his mayoral committee. Our task is to make sure that we provide services to the people of Johannesburg, and we work together to ensure that the ANC provides those services to our people collectively.
Loyiso, a question or comment was made by Secretary General Fikile Mbalula about the potential of you becoming mayor even way before the local government elections. So his quotes one, I'm going to read the quotes. The issue of who becomes mayor is not a priority, and it's not going to preoccupy us. The preoccupation is going to be preparing the ANC to win. He also mentioned being a chairperson does not give you the status of a mayor, especially in a city that we've lost. He also went on to say even the fact that Dada became a mayor was a favor by other parties. He added that the people were fighting over title in a government they don't even run. So is this the process that you would follow from the ANC, that by you being the regional chairperson, it doesn't necessarily mean Loyiso Masuku is going to become the mayor of Johannesburg potentially as early as next year?
The conference was about electing leadership, renewing our mandate, strengthening our policies, and ensuring that we mount a strategy for the upcoming local government elections. That was the purpose of the conference, and we've done that successfully. The next step, as I said earlier, is for us to work collectively to make sure that the ANC takes center stage. Remember, the ANC contests elections, and the National Executive Committee, through the national office bearers, they are the competent authority to even discuss and deliberate on who becomes mayor. In the region, we don't have that authority. Our preoccupation and the mandate that conference, the 16th Regional Conference, gave us was that unify the ANC and strengthen the organization at a branch level and make sure that there is a synergy in terms of deployees. There's a strong element of monitoring and evaluation to ensure deployees from MMCs to councillors, we work hard and service our people. So the Secretary General's quote that you've done, it's actually how the ANC work. We don't contest and go to conferences just because we want deployment. The ANC deploys because the ANC is the center. And at the right time, the national office bearers will deal with that matter when it is appropriate in their agenda.
After the break, I continue my conversation with Loyiso Masuku. We're going to be touching on service delivery and infrastructure challenges within the city of Johannesburg, which has become quite a detriment to the largest metro within our country. Do stay tuned to Talking Point. Welcome back to Talking Point. I'm still in conversation with the ANC Regional Chairperson for Johannesburg, Loyiso Masuku. Loyiso, a lot of the challenges that Johannesburg have had has come down to service delivery. Now, of course, the city has had the accelerated service delivery programs, which, of course, has focused more on the digital aspects of delivering services. But when you speak to the people of Johannesburg, a lot of the issues are the issues that have been plaguing the city, whether it's potholes, water, the basic services, even sometimes waste and rubbish collection. If you were to accelerate into the position of the mayor, how do you then change what probably previous administrations have not done?
Already this government, led by the executive mayor, of which I have the pleasure to serve in the mayoral committee, we've already been hard at work on our high impact service delivery program, which is yielding results. And you can see we've started in the inner city. We're moving now to your broader mid-range areas and central areas, because we've realized that the service delivery backlogs are actually something that we have to prioritize as the government. And we've started that high impact service delivery. And we also realize that, you know, we need to make an investment in terms of our infrastructure, because there are infrastructure backlogs. That is why we will have this. And the migration issues in Joburg, we've identified the problem, because then that's why we will have the demand is higher. And when we plan for the population that we have, but the influx of the people that comes in and then creates this unexpected demand in terms of services. But I think we're on the right path as we've started, and we're working also with the provincial government at an intergovernmental relations level through COCTA and the Office of the Premier, where we've got now partnerships that we're doing to ensure that we actually accelerate service delivery.
Loyiso, we saw in Westbury where there was a lack of water that was being delivered. Now, the ANC is part of this coalition within the current council. And when you listen to a lot of the residents of Westbury, they had directed the blame to the ANC to say Dada Morero would have visited the area and the problems would have been solved within 1 or 2 days, and after that it would reappear. Can you guarantee that will not happen if you have that position? To say that something like water, which is a right within our constitution, that would not happen, because it's communities like that that are voicing their concern. It's potentially communities like that where the ANC has lost a lot of its voting and a lot of its constituency right there.
Water is a basic service that all our people deserve to have. That is why the executive mayor went to Westbury to listen to the residents of Westbury and to explain to them how we are dealing with the water challenges and the issues of throttling in terms of how we have to manage the water consumption. And we are busy. We've got we approved in council an infrastructure loan where we are going to be able to invest and build reservoirs so that we can deal with the demand that is there. And what is important is it proves that we're a listening government. That is why the visit to Westbury was important, so that you explain to residents and hear them, because we have to be sensitive to the needs of our communities, because our communities, if something is unable to happen, we have to explain to them why it's not happening and how we are going to resolve that. And that is the kind of government that we are as the African National Congress.
Dada Morero, he was asked a question this week during the NGC with regards to service delivery. He has blamed, or the previous DA-led administration, when Herman Mashaba was the mayor of Johannesburg, and he said that there was a decline in revenue collection, rising debt levels, and unauthorized expenditure. And he says this has strained the city's finances. He also went on to say we are facing many challenges. As guided by the NEC, our challenges are systematic, structural, and financial. And he's also said since 2016, we have seen a visible decline in revenue collection. Is it just easy to blame the DA? Listen, I'm not taking their side. I'm just saying, is it as simple as just blaming the DA for the current situation we are now in?
A lot went wrong in 2016. I was a councillor in 2016. I served in the Council of Johannesburg, and a lot went wrong. And the projects that were stopped and the systems that were collapsed are a contributing factor to where the city of Johannesburg is now. The so-called vanity projects that were removed from the IDP, which were meant to serve the people of Johannesburg, have brought us to where we are. And for me, it's important that we understand that when that break happened, and because the ANC was actually on a path of ensuring, in line with our growth and development strategy, we take Johannesburg forward. Then when the new government came in, all of that was just eroded as if there was no government that existed. And in essence, Mayor Dada Murero had to literally start afresh, and we make sure that we develop a new program and a new path that will take Johannesburg forward. So, and you know, revenue collection is actually the backbone of how we can fund and provide service delivery. And our departments themselves were reconfigured and changed even without the approval of council in other instances. And we've been working hard to reverse all of that, and I think we're on the right path.
But then I mean, would you say that the time frame that has been given for the ANC to supposedly, as you've mentioned, complete the projects that they have set out to be, is this enough time for you guys to do it? Because look, what we have seen since 2016, since 2021, has been a rotation of the city council.
Yes, correctly so. I mean, we've gone up to 6 mayors, and then, you know, and a realization has to be made that these kind of changes also affect the administration. The instability affects the administration and the officials, and also the actual program of action itself, in terms of making sure that the government of the day gets the support, the government of the day gets to do the work. And I think we have this challenge of the changes because there is no single party that won the majority. So that is why then you have to enter into coalition arrangements. You have to have these arrangements, and there are motions of no confidence. You survive or you don't survive the motion of no confidence. And that on its own, it's because the electorate did not give one single political party the ability to govern. Because if the ANC was governing and we were governing with our manifesto, we would then be able to push the transformation agenda in terms of providing services to our people.
This is where I think many of the voters are going to look at, Loyiso, which party can deliver in terms of service delivery. You're on national television. Are you saying the ANC needs another chance to make sure that this can happen? Because, look, as early as August this year, Enoch Godongwana, I think, was given 14 days to, sorry, it gave Dada Murero 14 days to explain 24.4 billion rand of wasted funds. We don't want to have that again, if I stand to be corrected, where mayors, and it's not just about Johannesburg, it's every metro explaining wasteful expenditure, because the Auditor General herself has flagged so many municipalities when it comes to wasteful expenditure. So as we talk right now, are you asking the public of Johannesburg to give the ANC another chance in this regard?
The African National Congress does deserve another chance to make sure that we continue with the program that we have set out in terms of leading the city of Johannesburg, in terms of making sure that we provide services and make sure that we change the lives of our people. There are still inequalities that we grapple with, and the ANC is the only party that is clear on the transformation agenda and make sure that services for all our residents go there. And where there are issues of governance that are raised, we are actually the ones who are in the forefront of responding to that. And because good governance is actually one of our key priorities. And we've proven that, because when there are officials who don't do what they're supposed to do the right way. The city of Johannesburg has, we've appointed in our council a disciplinary board, which we utilize as consequence management mechanism to ensure that monies that are meant for services of our people, officials are brought to book to make sure that they account for that to an extent where they can be personally liable. Remember, we as the politicians, we don't sign, we don't procure, it's the officials. And if officials don't stick to what is actually regulated, that is why we approved the disciplinary board, because we are concerned about making sure that consequence management happens, and we strengthen our reporting mechanisms, and we also ensure that at any given point we respond timeously to issues that are raised by the Auditor General.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that, Loyiso, with regards to you mentioning now, should you, of course, become the mayor, and we hope to have you again on the show, when we see the result of the elections. But coming after the break, Loyiso Masuku, Helen Zille, that seems to be the headline in terms of who will be the mayor of Johannesburg. Do stay tuned. Talking Point returns after this break. Welcome back to Talking Point. Loyiso, you had mentioned Helen Zille, who of course seems to be one of the main contenders for the mayorship position. You said she should not be part of the conversation. Obviously, it's a tale of two, because it's a very, sort of older person. She's been there, done that. Especially within the Western Cape and Cape Town, whereas, of course, someone like yourself, this is a new challenge for you. Do you believe that will hold you in good stead against her?
Well, firstly, let me just clarify. The ANC has not discussed the issue of who becomes mayor. It's not a conversation that
But you've won the regional conference. Doesn't that not mean?
No, it does not. It absolutely does not mean that. Winning the regional conference does not mean you are an automatic candidate. It's not even our jurisdiction as the regional leadership. The ANC works in such a way that there are structures and there are processes that are followed. And that conversation has not happened in the African National Congress as yet. And when it happens, it does not happen at the regional level. It is a conversation that happens at an upper structure by the national officials. And the Secretary General issued guidelines in terms of how metro mayors will be decided. And that is a decision of the National Executive Committee, which is the highest decision-making body. So that conversation is not there. It would be premature for us to enter into that conversation. What is important is that the regional conference, the focus area, was to make sure we renew the mandate of the leadership, we work together to strengthen the organization, we unite the ANC in this program of renewal to ensure that we become an effective instrument to make sure that we serve our people and make sure we prepare for a decisive victory in the local government elections that are coming up, depending on the date that will be announced by the IEC, but by the president, and then obviously the IEC does its work. So for us, that is the focus area at the moment. And we do this because we are a listening organization. We are focusing on strengthening our structures so that we've got an organization that is able to lead society and work with different organs of people's power. We work together with our civic movements. We work together with NPOs and faith-based organization. We bring business on board. We bring youth organization within our community to ensure that the ANC is taking the lead in terms of working together. And we link up with our deployees in government to service our people in Johannesburg.
You speak of renewal. Within the NGC, the discussion of renewal was mentioned numerous times. I've often argued that the ANC hasn't given us, suppose, a time frame with it comes to renewal. Now, I know that you're not in the top 7 or the upper senior echelons within the ANC, but from a Johannesburg perspective, is there a time frame in terms of renewing the ANC from a regional perspective?
It's an ongoing process, because when you talk renewal, we have to live it, we have to demonstrate it, we have to actually self-reflect. Renewal also means you self-reflect as a leader. What is your action or inaction in contributing to the organization? So renewal for me, as the chairperson of Johannesburg, also means that I have to take the lead. I have to take the lead in ensuring that the ANC in society is seen as an ANC that is for the people. It is an ANC that is not above the people, and accessible leadership, but also serve with humility. We have to serve in our communities with humility. Renewal also means that we have to also go back to where we made errors and concede where we made mistakes and say, we are on this path of renewal. Here we didn't do so well. And we also work together with our communities and our veterans in the organization to assist us in this programmatic program of renewal. I mean, we are very clear in our mind that Joburg is not immune to the issues that you are raising, and our efforts must be to ensure that in this program of renewal we bring everybody along, we unite the organization collectively for the good of the ANC.
Okay, I asked you about time frame, Loyiso. You haven't given me a time frame. Understandable, but it's the voters out there that are probably going to ask the question: when is the ANC going to renew? The voters. I mean, if we would take last year's voters roll, the 44% of South Africans who still have confidence within the ANC. So how do you respond to the voters who asks the question, when is your renewal going to conclude so we can still have confidence?
We've started the renewal process. And when I say we've started, it's precisely because it's an ongoing process that the ANC, you self-reflect. It's an ongoing process. So you can't put a limit to a time frame. But what you can say is that there are measures that are already put in place to show that the ANC is on the path of renewal. We have the Integrity Commission now that we've set up that deals with issues if there are allegations against a person and they are criminally charged, then you are requested to step aside voluntarily. That is part and parcel of the renewal of the ANC. And for me, those are mechanisms that are actually on this path that we are taking of renewal.
Coalition governments, it's going to be the order of the day. If we take polling, if we take analysts' comments of what's going to happen, many have said this is the order of the day, whether it's in metro, provincial, or national government. If I were to ask you, Loyiso Masuku, who is the ANC prepared to work with for next year, would you be able to give me an answer now?
We have demonstrated that we can work with all political parties.
Even the DA?
In the African National Congress, we are one organization that is a listening organization. You can see we are in a coalition with over 12 parties in the city of Johannesburg, because our interest is to make sure that we work together to solve the challenges of the people. So we are not an organization that can't work with other political parties. However, for 2026 or 7 local government elections, we are working hard to ensure that we get an overwhelming majority. We're working hard so that we win the local government elections, so that we can be able to deliver and provide the services with the manifesto of the ANC taking center stage.
You'd work with the DA? If it had to come to it.
The African National Congress is an organization that can work with any political party as long as it is going to advance the interest of South Africans.
How would you then avoid this rotation of mayorship chairs? Because this is what's happened in Johannesburg. We've seen that happening for quite some number of time. And I think both you and I can agree it's to the detriment of the residents, because that means another week or 2 weeks delay of service delivery. And I think it would be unfair to the residents if that were to be the case. So how do we make sure this doesn't happen?
Our residents have to go out and vote. Because if you don't exercise your democratic vote, your right to vote, which is hard-won gains of freedom, you have to go out and vote so that you vote for a party like the African National Congress that can give you the services that you need as a resident. It doesn't help to protest and stay at home. What is important is that you must go and exercise your democratic right to vote, and be also it's also about just being patriotic and exercise your civic duty, so that then you can hold the ANC accountable, because you will have given us your vote and we've got majority, we are leading. Then you can hold us to account.
Loyiso Masuku, absolute pleasure having you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you so much.
That's Loyiso Masuku. She is the ANC Johannesburg Regional Chairperson. Now, that's all we have for you here on Talking Point. From myself, Hilaal, and the rest of the team in Johannesburg. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.